Welcome, and thank you again for joining us in this series. I'm Brandy Pappas. I am an educational consultant with the New Hampshire Department of Education, Bureau of Special Education Support. I oversee the New Hampshire Special Education Information System, also known as NESIS. I'm excited to be joined today with Danielle Pelletier, also from the New Hampshire Department of Education, Bureau of Special Education Support. Danielle, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Brandy. Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle Pelletier. And as Brandy said, I'm also an education consultant with the Bureau of Special Education Support. In my previous life, I was a special education teacher and case manager, overseeing and implementing IEPs for students with various disabilities.
Thank you, Danielle. Can we talk briefly about ABA and how it should be implemented into the IEP, into your classroom? From my behavioral background, as well as from the previous videos in this series, we have been discussing that ABA can be utilized for all individuals, all students, not just students diagnosed with autism. That being said, in your previous role as a special education teacher and case manager, how did you integrate those services within your classroom?
Sure. Well, ABA helps us to understand how behavior works, how behavior is affected by the environment, and how learning takes place. So ABA therapy applies our understanding of how behavior works to real situations. And the goal is to increase behaviors that are helpful and decrease behaviors that are harmful or affect learning. So there are many ways that we can integrate ABA into the classroom environment. An example of how it can be integrated includes using ABA to manage challenging behaviors. So one thing that I've used in the classroom to address behavior is through the use of visuals. I like to use things such as first then charts as well as token boards, all of which help to put negative behavior on extinction. Another helpful use of ABA involves teaching new concepts. So by priming or pre-teaching concepts, students learn new material quickly and are able to generalize that knowledge to other areas.
That was a great example on how you integrated that into your classroom. Who determines whether or not a student is eligible for ABA services?
Well, the IEP team will always have general oversight of decision making when it comes to which services are the most appropriate for any student. So in public schools, it's required that ABA services are entered into the IEP so that they can be implemented into the classroom environment.
Okay. So that being said, could you tell us also how those services should be entered into a student's IEP? I know while I'm reviewing NESIS and doing my trainings, I get a lot of questions from the field as to where exactly they should be documented correctly and appropriately.
Absolutely. Yeah. So when entering those ABA services into the IEP, it's important to place those services into the correct sections. In New Hampshire, we use Special Education Services section to document the ABA service. And this is where you would put the frequency, duration, and location of that service. For the work with the BCBA, this should go in under the Supplementary Services section. And this is where you document also services from a paraeducator who might be helping to apply the ABA in the classroom. Additionally, there may also be a BCBA consult, which you could put in the supports for personnel section.
Perfect. Yes, because those consults from the BCBA are for the staff and not individual children, correct?
Correct.
Great. Well, thank you, Danielle, for discussing this issue and topic with me today. Also, thank you all for tuning in. We encourage you to leave your questions and comments below. We are anticipating a Q&A session at the end of this series and look forward to speaking to you then. Thank you, and thank you, Danielle.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.